Good afternoon, Mohammed Sanusi. Okay, so this afternoon we have a lot of fundamental events. This afternoon is packed with so many fundamentals. So just by 1:30 p.m., less than an hour from now, we have the CPI from Canada. We have CPI monthly, CPI, median CPI yearly, trim CPI yearly, and common CPI, 4 events happening simultaneously by 1:30 p.m., all of them from Canada. Now, 3 of them are high impact, and the last one that is medium impact is the common CPI yearly. Then also we have the Empire State Manufacturing Index from the United States, happening at the same time also. Now, CPI simply, let's look at what CPI is all about. It says this news measures the level of the inflation index based on surveyed German institutional investors. Oh, sorry, this is German Zoo. Let's look at CPI Canada. That's a change in the price of goods and services purchased by consumers. Change in the price of goods and services purchased by consumers and actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. And that's the same, expectation for all of them. They are all still part of the CPI. So this is the view ahead of this event. Now, if the news comes out in such a way that, actual comes out greater than the forecast and is good for the CAD, good for the currency, then we'll see that the outcome here by 4 p.m., by 1:30 p.m. will be green all through. If the data is green, it means that the actual is greater than the forecast, and the CAD, Canadian dollar, is expected to gain strength, that is, go in a bullish direction if that is the outcome of the news. And if that happens across board, that will lead to, as in bullish movement, if it comes out green, which is actually greater than forecast, then we expect bullish movement across board for all the CAD pairs, massive bullish movement. And if on the other hand, the news comes out such that the actual is less than the forecast, or rather we say the news is bad for the CAD, sorry, we're talking about CAD, then we expect a very sharp decline in the CAD pairs. We expect a decline in the CAD pairs if the news comes out bad for the CAD, that is actually less than the forecast. Now, like I said, it's going to run simultaneously with the Empire State Manufacturing Index from the US. Let's look briefly at this. Now, this Empire State Manufacturing Index measures the level of the inflation index based on surveyed manufacturers in New York State, and actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. So this one is just going to affect the dollar. So for this one, this dollar news, if the news comes out good for the dollar, color will be in green, and it will lead to some bullish movement to the dollar. We may not be expecting too much volatility because it's a medium impact event, but nonetheless, we'll still take as much caution as necessary. And if the actual comes out less than forecast, it will be in color red, and we'll expect, a decline in the dollar. Now, another possibility, especially for the CAD pairs, well, I don't really see it happening to have a conflict situation where you have some will buy and some will sell. I don't want to look at that because they are all CPI. But the other one that can happen is that some of them may be green or red, and we may have maybe 1 or 2 maybe black. That is a possibility. Some can either have a green, green, green all through, or you have some green and maybe 1 black. Now, if you have more green than black, it will still be bullish, though the volatility will be reduced, but it will still be bullish. And if on the other hand, we have red, more red and maybe 1 black, it will still be bearish, though the volatility will be reduced compared to a scenario where all will have been, a red. So that's just the only difference there. All right, so that'll be all from the fundamental side. I'll flip now to the MetaTrader platform for us to check what to expect technically for this afternoon. Okay, so we're going to be looking at the CAD pairs, and I'll look at the CAD JPY. Now, this is the CAD JPY. Let me just remove all this, lines I've drawn so that we can make it clearer to some of us. Now, this is the card JPY. On the daily time frame, now you can see that on the daily time frame, price is actually trading around a support level. We have a valid support here from this region. Price has not broken below this level. So we have a valid support, over there. And if you want to take it a step further, there are still additional information we can pick from here. It's actually a resistance turned support, a resistance on this side and a support on the other side. So technically, that means we're looking for an opportunity to buy the card JPY. That's on the daily time frame. If we flip down to 4-hour and even the 1-hour time frame, what we are seeing. Okay, let me go first to the 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, I can clearly see that I can draw a trend line. Let's even start from the daily again. I can draw a clear trend line, and we can see that price is making a series of higher highs. So we have an uptrend line over there, which is very valid on 4-hour. And we can draw another trend line here and the last one at the back. So we have a resistance term support on the daily time frame. We have an ascending trend line on the 4-hour, and we have a falling wedge on the 4-hour. All this points to just one direction. That's a bullish breakout on the card JPY. If you take it down to 1 hour, it's still the same thing. You can still see we're still having an uptrend direction on the card JPY. Now, this is what I can see technically. So if the news comes out by 1:30, and it comes out good for the card, I will be looking at buying the card JPY. Technically, card JPY is bullish. So that's where I will put my attention on. I'll be looking to buy the card JPY if the news comes out good for the card. Now, what now happens if the news comes out, bad for the card? Is there any other thing we can look at? Well, let's look. Now, this is the GBP card. Now, for the GBP card, right from the monthly time frame, price has been trending downwards. I've been monitoring this instrument for quite like over a week now. On the long term, monthly time frame, you can see there's a downtrend on it, which is still valid on the weekly, and up to the daily time frame, we have a resistance. Now we have a rising channel, and currently, price has hit a confluence point between a monthly trend line, and the resistance on the daily time frame. That's where price is. So if the news again comes out good for the card, you can either buy the card JPY or you can sell the GBP card. GBP card is getting ready for a massive bullish breakout. That's if the news comes out good for the card. Either you are buying card JPY or you are selling the GBP card. Now, what of a scenario where the news turns out bad, for the card? If the news turns out bad for the card, now this is CPI. If the recent CPI can go in either direction, but we're just looking at the technicals ahead because we follow this, religiously. It's one of our best practices, for trading. If the news comes out bad for the card, well, price will just break this support zone downwards if the news comes out bad for the card. If it comes out good for the card, we'll see we already have a valid bullish setup. We'll trade it. If it comes out bad, for me, I may choose to actually stay out if it comes out bad because I see this more bullish, than otherwise. So I'm bullish on the card JPY. I'm bearish on the GBP card if the news comes out good for the card. Good. By being good, I mean you have a green scenario all through. Let's flip back to the Forex Factory page. What I'm saying is this: if the news comes out good for the card, it means we see a green across board, or maybe green, one black, not a red. Green all through or green, possibly a black, then it will be a time to trigger a buy on the CAD JPY and possibly a sell on the GBP CAD. All right, that's my view for this afternoon. I'm not looking at selling if the news goes bad for the CAD. That's I want to emphasize on that. Now, it's CPI, like I said, price can go either way, but this is just the directional bias I can see from my technical standpoint. All right, so that's my analysis for this afternoon. But then I want to update us on some of the analysis we had for the week yesterday. We started the week yesterday with a weekly outlook. Some of the instruments we analyzed yesterday, rather, they've already gone in line with the analysis. And the first one I want to mention, many of them are yet to, well, at least we have two of them that have gone exactly as analyzed and in profit position also. The first one is the GBP the GBP CHF. I'll come back to the GBP USD. The GBP CHF, I had a symmetrical triangle pattern on the GBP CHF, and you can clearly see that price has broken out in the bullish direction. Just, I said it for symmetrical triangle, price can break out in either direction. If it breaks out upwards, we'll look for a buy. If it breaks out downwards, we'll look for a sell. And so far, the GBP CHF has gone up as high as 52 pips. Yeah, we have a 52 pip gain on the GBP CHF in line with the analysis yesterday. And the other one is the Euro JPY. I had a bearish outlook on the Euro JPY. Now, the initial analysis is actually a head and a shoulder right here for a breakout downwards. But then the market didn't follow that particular pattern. We can see that price still went up there. But then using the same trend line, price broke the initial neckline region. Is still where price broke here for a massive bearish breakout. And that so far has given as much as about 74 pips. 74 pips. So it's still in line with the analysis, same direction rather with the analysis. So we've seen a gain of over 50 pips on JPCHF and about 70 pips plus on the Euro JPY. And we analyze also the Euro CHF, though price has broken out, but we're still expecting further. Is ranging at the moment. It's a symmetrical triangle on the Euro CHF. Price actually broke out, in the bullish direction here. It's experiencing a retracement, but I believe with time it will continue. It's a swing setup, so it's meant to last the whole week. So the two positive ones we have at the moment is the GBP and the Euro JPY. We're still looking up to the other ones to see them go in line with the analysis. Now, I'll show us the analysis I have for this afternoon after the news event that is coming up after the CPI from Canada. There are many other technical setup that is forming, which we could still take advantage of. Not only today, it can also span till the end of the week. And the first I'll mention is the GBP USD, which is actually part of the news, part of the instrument I analyzed for the week yesterday. I said yesterday that I was bullish on the GBP USD, and we can see currently it's already going in the bullish direction as I analyze. In fact, it has broken out above, the minor resistance from where I said we could look for our entry. So we're already running a profit, on the GBP USD right from the analysis of yesterday. We're bullish on the GBP USD. Though I will advise don't enter into a buy now. Wait till after the news we're expecting by 1:30. Maybe by 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, if the effect of the news has worn out and we still have a bullish movement, then you can trigger a buy on the GBP USD. And Euro USD, we didn't analyze it, at least it's not one of the major instruments I analyzed yesterday, but I'm seeing a potential setup, which can also be tradable on the Euro USD. Now, this is the Euro USD on the daily time frame. You can see that price hit a support zone on the daily time frame. You can see we have a valid support. That's the rectangle here. We have a valid support right here, and we should expect a bullish movement from that region on the Euro USD. This is the daily time frame. I'll flip down to the 4-hour. Now, on the 4-hour time frame, I'm seeing an inverse head and shoulder pattern being formed here, which can lead to a bullish breakout on the Euro USD. I'll draw that again. Inverse head and shoulder, which is a bullish pattern. If it works out fine, then that should trigger us into a bullish, trade on the Euro USD. So that's not all. We should still be able to draw a falling wedge pattern, as an additional confirmation to that. And I can see we have that being drawn. All right, so we have a valid falling wedge pattern, and should be anticipating a bullish movement on this instrument. At least if price breaks out above the neckline, the entry should be around Fibonacci 23.6, which is just a little above the neckline. To Fibonacci 38.2 can give as much as 21 pips. To Fibonacci 50 can give as much as 37 pips, or let's just say 35 pips thereabout. And to Fibonacci 61.8 can give as much as 50 pips. So let's look out for the Euro USD. Once price breaks out above the trend line and above Fibonacci 23.6, it will be a time to trigger a buy on the Euro USD. So we're bullish on the Euro USD. Please take note, this is only to be taken after the news, not before the news. Now, I gave an analysis on the Euro New Zealand earlier on yesterday for the week, and I said I was bearish on the Euro New Zealand on 4 hour. All right, I still maintain the analysis, even though it's yet, to trigger. I'm still waiting for price to break out below the neckline region. Once that happens, that will trigger, a bearish breakout on the Euro New Zealand. So I'm bearish. I still maintain my bearish outlook, pending the time to finally see a trigger on the Euro New Zealand. And finally, I'm currently also looking at the BTC USD. Now, the BTC USD is one interesting setup. I remember somebody asking about this maybe last Friday or thereabout, and I said that I expected price to pull up to touch this resistance level, and maybe it was yesterday, then hit a resistance here from where we expect a breakout. And by that time, it also will have formed a double top pattern, which will lead to a double confirmation for a bearish movement. And that's what we're seeing. You can see that we have price really trending down. We can see that channel trending downwards. Price is, moving within this channel pattern, and the next wave is actually a bearish wave. So we're expecting a bearish wave. We have a resistance zone here and the possible formation of a double top pattern, which should lead us to, a massive decline in price on the BTC USD. Now, this analysis on the daily time frame, if you flip down to the 1 hour time frame, what I can clearly see on 1 hour now is a head and shoulder pattern, and price is already trying to make its way downwards. So once price is actually, the neckline actually is being tested at the moment. Let me put it that way. So once a new candle opens below this trend line, and let's check our RSI, and RSI is already on 50. Once RSI crosses below 50, and we have a new candle open below this current trend line, it will be a time to place a sell on the BTC USD. And we can target, now, okay, let's do it properly. Let me just use a random figure. Let's use Fibonacci to look at projected profit on this. Now, we can target Fibonacci 50. All right, so we can target Fibonacci 50 at around about 73 pips, Fibonacci 61.8 at about 127 pips, and Fibonacci 78.6 at about 200 pips. All right, so that's my outlook on the BTC. I'm bearish on the BTC USD. Okay, so this afternoon, I've given us analysis on what to expect for the CAD by 1:30. I said I'm bullish on the CAD, so I'll be looking to buy the CAD JPY if the news comes out good for the CAD. And if you're buying CAD JPY, we can also be looking at selling the GBP CAD, because that is also having a very sharp bearish sentiment. That is if the news comes out good for the CAD. And I've also given us updates on some trade setup we gave yesterday for the week. And that's the GBP CHF, which has given over 50 pips, and the Euro JPY, which also has given over 75 pips. Now, our updates in our respective WhatsApp group, I'll give you the update. This update I'm mentioning on the analysis of yesterday for the week. I'll post it in our WhatsApp group for us to be aware. And I said we're already going bullish on the GBP USD. We're only waiting for the news by 1:30, to go before we look at taking a trade on the GBP USD. And we also have a technical bullish setup on the Euro USD. And though the Euro USD is now, let me sound some clarification here. The Euro USD is actually a day trade, it's a 1 hour trade, it's for day traders. While what I mentioned on being bearish on the Euro New Zealand is for swing traders. So don't buy Euro USD and sell Euro New Zealand. They are for two different categories of traders. Day traders can take a buy on the Euro USD when it officially triggers, and swing traders can take a sell on Euro New Zealand when it eventually triggers. There's one I think I'm omitting, and that's the New Zealand JPY. The New Zealand JPY is currently having a pattern that's close to a symmetrical triangle. All right, so this is the New Zealand JPY. We can see it's having a symmetrical triangle. Again, if price breaks out upwards, that would be a buy. If it breaks out downward, that would be a sell. It's a 4 hour setup, so it's strictly for swing traders. So let's take note of that. And finally, I said I'm bearish on the BTC USD on 1 hour. All right, so that'll be all from my end this afternoon. I'll look at the questions we have. Okay, somebody said BTC analysis was on Friday and it worked. Thank you for that, Bilo Mohammed. Thanks for that. Thanks for that update. So let's look at other requests we have as we try to round up this session. Okay, Mr. Joshua Corey is asking me to check gold. All right, so let's take a look at gold. Okay, so this is gold. For gold, price is, if you go to the weekly time frame, price is just in a range. What we're seeing currently is a range. Price is ranging on gold. On the weekly time frame, we are seeing a kind of a range. Even on the 4 hour, 1 hour, okay, you know what? Let's go to the dollar index. Dollar index will tell us what is going to happen because I'm not seeing much clarity at the moment on gold. Now, for the dollar index, weekly, daily, for the dollar index, price is trading around a key level, around a previous support turned resistance. That's the range of where price is trading. Price is trading within a previous support turned resistance. So we may be looking at, but we are bullish on Euro USD. If you're bullish on Euro USD, something is not right because usually most times gold and Euro USD go in the same direction. So if you are seeing a conflict, I think the best thing we can do is to stay out. The reality for gold at the moment, what on the 4 hour time frame, what we're seeing here is looking like it's trying to form a head and shoulder, but I'm not giving certainty on this. It's not, the structure is not as I expect, So I'm not giving you, it's not a signal for a sell. Please, let's take note of that. I think it's just best to stay out so we can see clarity on gold. It's not so clear at the moment. I've sounded it recently that we need to be very, very cautious with gold. Gold has been unstable for quite a long time. So let's be very cautious. I'm not saying clarity on gold at the moment. Mr. Raju is asking about Euro GBP. Euro GBP, okay. Now this is Euro GBP. Okay, and on the monthly time frame, price is trading, at a key level. We have a valid support up through here on the monthly. So price is actually approaching that support. So this is what can happen to Euro GBP. Price, you wait for price to touch that monthly support, and from there should be a reaction, there should be a reversal when price touches the monthly support. And I think we can still flip down to 1 hour. All right, so this is what we'll do for Euro GBP. Price drops to support, then we'll look for a bullish movement. So we can see if we can draw, let's see if we can draw a trend line as we anticipate the breakouts. Okay, this is not working. So let's try to use a channel tool if that will work. All right, so I think the channel tool will work. So price is currently trying to test the lower trend line. So, but then we expect a bounce and a downward movement to the support. Then after which we anticipate a bullish breakout. So we expect this. Then it's possible for it to also form maybe a chart pattern, probably a double bottom here. It's not a must, but if it forms it, that will be an additional confirmation. But ultimately, what we're looking out for is a breakout upwards after price touches the monthly support level. So that's for Euro GBP. Okay, what about USD CAD? Okay, I purposely omitted that, but let's go back to USD CAD since you asked. Now, one of the reasons why I stayed out of USD CAD is because we're having a news coming up on it by 1:30 p.m. And we also have a dollar-based news. Now, when you have a news from Canada and the United States at the same time, you need to be careful of the USD CAD. Yeah, the reason is because price can go sideways depending on the outcome of the news. So that's why I purposely didn't mention the USD CAD. The only time you can trade USD CAD in this kind of scenario is if maybe the news comes out good for the CAD and it comes out bad for the dollar. Yeah, that will give you a good move. But sometimes the news may come out good for the CAD and good for the dollar. At that instance, you will just be stuck. So that's why you need to be very cautious with the USD CAD when there's an upcoming news from both United States and Canada at the same time. So let's say this afternoon, we have a bullish outlook on the CAD. If the news comes out good for the CAD and it comes out bad for the dollar, then just like the GBP CAD, we expect a sharp decline on the USD CAD. So that's just my view. And if the news comes out bad for the CAD and good for the dollar, well, price may try to break out above this current resistance level because there's a resistance level from the weekly time frame, to the current price here. So if that resistance level holds, then trading here should be done with a lot of caution. That's just the bottom line. Should be done with a lot of caution. It depends on the outcome of the news. Okay, I've analyzed BTC. Okay, BTC gold. I think I've attended it to all. Okay, Madam Monaji, GBP, JPY. GBP CHF is a symmetrical triangle. Price has broken out. Please look for another pair. It's been moving since, I think, yesterday or so. So let's look for another pair for GBP CHF. GBP, JPY, that will be the last instrument I'll look at as we close. All right, so we have an ascending triangle. Technically, for an ascending triangle, price is expected to break out downwards. That should be the expectation. So let's watch out for that and see if price will follow that pattern. We're not having a strong Okay, we have a resistance here, but I would have preferred if we have another one. Okay, we have a support and another minor resistance. All right, so it can be a key level. You can still take it as a key level. Those rejection candles can still be used as valid resistance or rather as valid support levels. So we see this as an ascending triangle and we anticipate a bearish breakout. So, but please confirm at the point of breakout that your RSI is below 50 for you to trigger a sell. All right, so that will be all this afternoon. The news comes up less than 30 minutes. Please trade safe and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're
God
welcome.
bless you. Have a nice day.
You too, amen. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.